First downs and donuts, Duncan's got 'em stacked. Silver and black attack, yeah, we're never looking back. Crowds on fire, feel the nation in the zone. Raiders rolling strong, bring it all the way home. He's got the glaze, got the grit, got the power in his stride. Duncan hits the sideline and the stadium ignites. Another chain moves and the fans all rise. Shields in the air, Vegas lights in our eyes. First downs and donuts, sweet like victory. Duncan keeps it cooking for the Raider family. One more drive, let the anthem ring.
Raider Nation, what is going on? Stand up and show me your shield. Welcome. This is Raider Nation, Show Me Your Shield, and we are officially into Week 17 of the 2025 campaign of the Las Vegas Raiders, your Las Vegas Raiders. Week 17, where excuses are going to be had, futures are being decided, and every step tells you who belongs and who doesn't. Let's start with this past week, because the Raiders went head-to-head with the Houston Texans, a vaunted defense, a unit everyone's been hyping up all season. They're fast, they're physical, aggressive, and guess what? Raiders didn't blink. They showed up. We saw flashes of toughness. There was moments where the offense challenged the defense. And a defense that's been bullying teams all year, let's face it. They've beaten some really good teams, the Niners and the Chiefs and so on and so forth. But most importantly, we also saw the same story that haunted us this season too. There's missed opportunities, stalled drives, pick sixes, not enough killer instinct when it mattered the most. So the question now becomes, was this a step forward? Or was this just a blimp? Just another tease? As we go into Week 7 and beyond, we are going to talk about the future of this roster, the direction of this coaching staff, and which players are earning their shield for the next season. Who's fighting, who's fading, and who's making it impossible to replace them. 23 expiring contracts, people, and those guys, they need to play for something. We have a plethora of rookies and second-year players that need a lot of repetition. We're talking about accountability. We're talking about what kind of identity are we going to have going forward. We're talking about this team has to prove, not just to the league, but to us, the Raider Nation. So, folks, lock in. Speak your mind. Get them thumbs out. Get your keyboards fired up. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. Speak your mind. Let's chat, because this is where the real conversation begins. Raider Nation, show me your shield. I'm Raiders First Downs, Jason, Raiders First Downs, and my co-host, Duncan Donuts. How you doing, Duncan?
Doing good. Good Tuesday afternoon.
Yep.
Another loss by our favorite team. And another week with us wondering if we're going to be able to secure that first overall draft pick.
So where's your emotion? Where's your mood? What's your feeling? Is it were you disappointed in the loss, or were you disappointed we almost lost our top pick?
I'm not disappointed in the loss. I'm kind of rooting for that first overall pick. Not going to be upset with it being a close loss, because shows our team has some life to it, and shows that the locker room's not completely lost and they're sticking together as a unit at least. Some players popped, some players were a little flat, some players were inconsistent. So it's just all being added to that film so they can go back and look at the tape to see who they want to keep from those, 23 upcoming free agents, and see who they need to try to help out in the offseason as far as the rookies go, who might be able to step up next season. Maybe they find something that they need to move a player to a different position or something, kind of similar to how Kappa's playing center now, and he's playing fairly well because we have him under contract for next season, though he could be a cap casualty because we pretty much get away from his contract scotch-free in the offseason if we decide to move on from him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, not upset at staying closer to getting that first overall draft pick, but upset with the team being so bad this season.
Did you think this past weekend was a surprise?
Honestly, yeah. With them being able to play against that Texans defense and keep it close, like, that was pretty surprising. I honestly thought we'd be lucky to get 10 points.
Yeah. You know what affected me the most about it is not only the way that they played this last week, but coming off the game at the performance that they had the week before, and how it was like two different universes we were talking about with this team. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest with you, this last Sunday is the only game this year, besides the first game, where I had a little bit of confidence in what the structure, what the viability, and where we were going to push forward with this team.
I wouldn't say I have confidence in the structure because they've shown flashes here and there sprinkled in the season, and they just haven't been able to build off of it or remain consistent. So, like, it's somewhat encouraging that they're able to get that flash, but until they can reproduce it, it doesn't really mean much.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has to be consistent. It has to be consistent. Yeah. I totally agree with you. I mean, it's nice to see what we saw this last Sunday, but it would be nice to see that consecutively week after week after week after week, because at that point, then it's not so much about the wins and losses this year, because we know our roster is not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm talking as a whole. Right. We do have some small pieces, some small components that we could build off of, i.e. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Max Crosby. You know, those are people we could build off of, but we need more. You know, we need some, need some beef in the middle. Okay. On both sides. I was happy with our two rookies this week that are not two rookies. Tonka Hemingway and our second-year guy, Jonah Lalalu, this last week. They played fairly well. They didn't stat up per se, but their performance, you can tell that their performance was effective in the trenches. Because I don't know about you, I don't remember the last time we've ever held a Nick Chubb running attack in check. It seems like every time we go against a Nick Chubb, he just runs the ball down our throat. I mean, it's just like, so.
Well, he is getting pretty older for a running back, and a lot of teams have been able to slow him down this year. Yeah. But, I mean, considering how our defense has been so hit and miss this year, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Also, as far as building up the beef in the middle, our D-line, as far as D tackles go, other than Butler, is really young.
Yeah.
So it may be they don't really add to the D-line in the offseason as far as the middle goes, and they just try to let those guys grow and get experience and get better as a unit.
That's a possibility as well. I mean, there's something there to work with those guys. And especially what I saw, Tonka's not getting a whole lot of run, but it was impressive to see what he did do. Let's talk about the secondary. Since we're on the topic of the defense, let's talk about the secondary. What did you see in the secondary? Any changes, any differences that you saw?
Porter's showing more promise. I mean, he's having hiccups, but he's a rookie. Rookie mistakes are going to happen. Bad penalties are going to be called. Can't put himself in positions for those to be called.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with the penalty or not, he did do the actions that would call for it.
Yep.
Jeremy Chen's been pretty solid all year. He's had a few hiccups throughout the season, but overall, I really like Chen.
Mm-hmm.
And then our corner opposite, forgetting his name right now.
Stokes.
Stokes. He's okay. He's not a number one corner by any means, but I would put him as a solid number 2.
Is he a guy? Now he's got an expiring contract. Is he a guy that you think we should calibrate and bring back on a reasonable contract?
I think we should bring him back because he's definitely a decent starter.
Uh-huh.
And with how lacking our talent is across the board, I don't think we can afford to lose a guy like him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a net positive for our team. There's moments and situations where he can get caught up and lost in traffic and his guy winds up open. But as long as we're building up our defense more, like it's going to help him also. Like if we get another edge rusher or somebody who can influence the pass game up front and rush that quarterback, it's going to help Stokes a lot, especially with his type of play style, because he's a little stiff and he doesn't do too well on those quick, fast accelerating receivers.
No, he's more of a space eater.
Yeah.
Because of his size. He's more of a space eater, but as far as being somebody that can actually burst and stay on top of a receiver, he has a hard time with that. That's where I think, believe it or not, I think Porter's going to excel at eventually. It's just a matter of fine-tuning his, like that pass interference call in and of itself was he caught himself flat-footed at the apex of that route to where he's starting to join hips with the receiver on the fly route, and he got caught flat-footed. I couldn't tell if he was looking into the backfield, but you can definitely tell he got caught flat-footed and he was upright. He wasn't, down and ready to turn the hips and get in and get locked in with them down the field. So, and that might have caused a little bit of why he leaned forward, because he knew that it's like, if I can eat up some space and get in front of him, then I can regain some of the speed and stay with him. But when you do that, you take a chance, especially when you got your hands out. If your hands are out, like this, that's where the call is going to come. But if he had just maybe like one elbow up tucked in like this, to where all he's going to do is just kind of give a little rub as he turns to go with him, then I don't think I mean, they still call it depending on how much force you use and how much contact causes the receiver to get knocked off. But in a long story short, it was a technique issue. It wasn't a physical issue. It wasn't a talent issue. It was just a technique issue, and those can be fixed.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about the secondary, and then let's move up to the linebackers. On the defense, what we saw this past week, what we expect going forward, because we got the Giants coming in. Tracy's not a bad running back.
No.
He can put up a Hunterberger real quick in the stat column, and put some touchdowns on the board. But let's talk about the linebackers in and of itself. What did you see in this past game with the linebackers that makes you think maybe we can retain these two guys and move forward?
Well, personally, I'm not a fan of Roberts. I think he's a little bit slow and he gets lost in the mix on the run game.
Mm-hmm.
He has moments where he looks absolutely great and as a run stuffer, but a lot of times to me it seems like he's guessing and then also second guessing himself. So he's either flying past the run or he's too slow to get there. As far as White, I mean, he's a tackling machine, but he also misses a bunch of tackles, and he cannot cover anybody. He really hinders the defense when it comes to the passing game.
Yeah.
Adams, he had a fairly decent game. He had a few plays where he really influenced the play itself. But he's another guy where he's kind of older, and then the question is, are we going to be able to retain him if Pete Carroll doesn't stay? If we decide to move on from Pete Carroll, because he's a Pete Carroll guy.
Yeah, that's why he came to us, was because of Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then also Snowden, he's had a few good plays in almost every game, but he's not consistent throughout games.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, like when the play's away from him, he's kind of jogging. Like he's not
Mm-hmm.
trying to run up to the play to try to take away cutbacks or anything like that. He just kind of watches the play.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm not a fan of Snowden, but I can see why people like him because he does have flashes. And he's also a fairly young player.
Yeah.
But as far as retaining players, I think you have to retain Snowden because he's still on that restricted free agent because he's so young.
Now,
And
did
then
we sign
White,
him on a RFA this year?
yeah, but he still gets an RFA, I believe, because it's the player's first 5 seasons.
Four if you're not a first round pick.
No, I think they get the RFA through their first 5 seasons. The first round gets the 5th year option.
Mm-hmm.
So for a first round pick, we can decide that we want to retain them for the 5th year, and they can't say anything about it. Like it's 100% protected. As far as second round and on, they're RFAs. So that means they can go test the free agency, and if another team offers for them, we get to match them.
Okay, that's where because if you read it to me the way I read it, but I got to go past the first round. I know the first round gets a 5th year option. I do know that, but how it correlates with your second and third round picks still give you the opportunity to do an RFA with them, and then if they decide to leave, you get compensated for that loss in a compensatory pick.
Yeah. And then also if we decide to move on from a player in their first 5 seasons, or if they decide to sign with the other team and say no to us, that's where we get into the contention of getting a compensatory pick.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think this next offseason, I think we'll be bringing in too many pieces for us to get any compensatory picks because how much of your team you lose and the more people you bring in from free agency actually hurts your chances of getting a compensatory pick.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so your team looks like they're just trying to get rid of players to get more compensatory picks until they land the jackpot on one of them.
Yeah. But also too, when you go into your off season, you don't really want to rely on your compensatory picks is just extra.
Yeah.
You don't want to rely on those. So when we do go into an off season, we don't want to rely on compensatory picks to try and fill our roster.
Right. But they're also a tool that's designed to help teams that just aren't having very successful drafts. And unfortunately for the Raiders, they are one of the worst teams at drafting.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the 2024 draft, like this last draft we don't know. And then all the other drafts, like we maybe get one player that we keep around. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
All right, let's flip over to the offensive side of the ball, my friend, and see. Let's test our comparisons on the offensive side of the ball. What did you take? Number one, what did you take about the game plan in of itself, the execution of the game plan, and were there certain performances that stood out to you that didn't? And I'm going to subtract from this equation Genty, so you don't get to use him. You have to you got to work around him.
Oh,
Makes
that's
sense.
Fine. I mean, because for Genty, I go to the O-line anyways. So
yeah.
I mean, Kappa had a solid game. Cable Rogers is looking like he might be a long-term right guard for us. Like he is playing really well. He has hiccups. He's a rookie. I'm going to keep repeating that for all of our rookies because that seems to be rinse and repeat with them is they have a lot of flashes and then they make some mistakes, but you got to expect that out of young players.
Yeah.
But Rodgers, man, he might end up being a leader on this team because he is for both the Genty touchdowns, or no, the Genty touchdown and the Brock Bowers touchdown. He was the first person to go celebrate with them.
Yeah.
And then for the Genty pass, because it was such a long pass, he was right there with Geno Smith celebrating with Geno Smith. Like, he is a lightning bolt. And then every play, he's trying to rush down that field and make something happen for the team. Like, he's got some hustle and bustle to him.
And one of the things I'm hearing too, whenever I'm listening to some of the pressers that come out from different people, and when the conversation is brought up about him, is it's his development. So when you get to the NFL level, in most cases, a development, you're being able to develop is only 30% of that is only going to come from the coaches. The rest is got to come from the player himself, because you have time. So especially with the CBA now, there's so much time restriction on what they can and can't do to allow that player to develop. Which I think, be quite honest with you, the quality of football in the last 5 years has really deteriorated because of that collective bargaining agreement. But I'm going to get off that soapbox for just a second. Let's talk about Rodgers specifically. And Rodgers is one of those guys that is putting in the work. He's doing the extra study. He's doing the extra technique, and he's doing different things to make himself better. Because I really, truly think, and you said it earlier in some of your description of him, is I really think that kid loves playing football. I mean, he just absolutely loves it. And I think he realizes, coming in as a third-round pick, there's more he could have done at a college level. But I don't think he also had all the tools provided to him at the college level to make him what he can be. So I think he's going to be one of those nuggets that you pull out of the ground, and it's just like, okay, we can shine this one up and make it our own. And Raider Jeff has a 76 jersey hanging up in his locker. He can always rip the name off the back and put a Rodgers on it. And then he's got a valuable jersey. Hey, real quick, we only got 2 people in here right now. Hulk and Jack Gustavest is still in here. If you are, sir, I really appreciate you coming in and joining us in the chat. Yes, it was a close game on Sunday. I wish we had more of those this year. I wouldn't feel so bad. We got the skipper in here, 401 Raider Jeff. He's in here. Our boss is in here supervising this content that we're trying to create and get out. This is show number 2, so we're learning as we go, but we're also going to make it something that you guys are going to enjoy and make it a really good conversation. So bring the chat. If anybody's out there in the chat world and you're listening, or you want to tell a friend, and that's the only way we can make this channel grow. And I understand there's tons of Raider content channels out there. I get it. But what we're going to do right now, we're kind of doing what everybody else is doing. But I think after the first year, we're going to start doing some things that not a whole lot of people do. Some do, right? But we're going to take it more into a fandom, and that way we can bring it in. And I'm like a trivia guru. I love my history, not just with the Raiders, but with football in general. I'm not an expert. I'm not a king. I'm not the best at it, but I love it, and I have fun doing it. So we would like to implement that into our show at some time. I know my buddy Avocasi Raider. He has a really good one that he does on his show. 805 Raider. He does a real start 'em, cut 'em, and bench 'em. That's a lot of fun. A lot of guys have a good time with that in the off season. I would like to do something. Who are they and where the road? There's one that I want to put together. It's called Where the Road Ends, and that's basically we're going to take players, legends of the game, and you figure out exactly where the road ended for them. So it should be fun. A lot of knowledge base. Oh, by the way, here's one for you, Duncan. Who was the first Raider inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame?
We did that one last week.
I know, but who was it?
It was our original center. And now I'm drawing the blank on his name.
Well,
but
I hate to be the bearer. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We were both wrong.
Were we?
Yeah. If you do it from a technicality standpoint, because we salute all of our legends, whether they're an original Raider or just played for us, you know, guys like Roger Craig's going to get in the Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of when. But, you know, like Rod Woodson and Eric Allen. I feel Eric Allen's, even though he only played for us for 3 years, I feel he's always been a Raider at heart. And he is still part of the family. He hasn't left since we acquired him. He's still, 20 years later, he's still part of us. You know, we had Ronnie Lott, Jerry Rice, but there's one guy that played for us for 1 year that went into the Hall of Fame before Jim Otto, and that was Ron Mix of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, but he didn't retire a Raider.
I'm just saying, if you, it's a technicality, my friend.
Technically, he didn't retire a Raider,
but if you go to the Raider
at one point,
if you go to the Raider history page, they acknowledge him as a Raider.
Yeah,
which is kind of throws that question off. You know, that trivia question off.
Was he originally a Charger, or was he a Raider and then became a Charger?
Yeah, he played for the Chargers, and then we traded for him in 1971. He played 1 year for us, and then he was in.
So Al Davis knew him when Al Davis was with the Chargers.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then there's one player that Al Davis inducted into the Hall of Fame that's not a Raider. Do you know who that is?
Who?
Lance Allworth.
Okay.
He presented him at the NFL Hall of Fame.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, just little tidbits like that. Now I was messing around with Raider history today, just kind of thinking of some ideas and whatnot, and I saw that and I go, you know what? Technically, me and Duncan were both wrong on that.
No, I still think Otto,
the double up buck. I mean, he's you know, God rest his soul. He is the Raider. You literally can take Jim Otto's. You can take our shield off the side of the helmet, and put his picture on the side of the helmet, and it wouldn't change a thing for me. Nope. I think it would still be fitting. So, anyways, so we're enough of that. We will get back to the chat, and as soon as we get some more people in here. But if not, we can still have a discussion, right?
Oh yeah, we can have some fun with it.
All right. So we talked about the offensive line. We talked about Rodgers, and what about Parham? What did you see this week?
I know what PFF saw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they ranked that guy like he was an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a good game. I mean, there's no denying it. But he's another one where he's just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough to be in Parham's corner, which I was at the beginning of the season. Because I don't think he's a terrible guard. And, like, this game proved, like, he's not terrible. He can play with the best of them, but he's just so dang inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, that's the frustrating part about him. Mm-hmm. Is one game he can look absolutely terrible, and the next it looks like he should be in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And since we're on the offensive side, Jordan Meredith was placed on IR today.
Yeah, they made some moves to bring people up.
Yeah, which, I mean, Jordan Meredith last year impressed me. I mean, he wasn't great, but he did pretty good last year. And then this year he had some struggles, but they all had struggles. And having said that, I really think it's just the coaching, in all honesty.
Well,
and
I definitely agree. Meredith, I would say, is selectively great, meaning like in the areas he's good at, he's great at, but he's really struggles at what he's not good at. He's not a run blocker at all, but he is a great pass blocker. And he communicates really well on the O line and was able to work that left guard position really well at the second half of last year when he stepped in after our original starting left guard got hurt. Ultimately, I don't understand the move of Meredith from guard to center. Like, it's one thing going from guard or center to guard, where you go to a less thinking position where you got to be more active and physical and just go, to being center where you're commanding that line at pre-snap and you got to tell everybody where to go. And he did not succeed at that at all, which was evident in the first, 5 weeks, because we were missing assignments left and right where it's like, well, that guy just completely went by our whole line. What the heck, Parham? Like, there's plenty of times where people were throwing that finger at Parham, and it's like, well, if you watch Miller and Parham, they're both blocking out, so the call was for them to do that. And then a linebacker usually comes in like, well, if the call is for them to go out, why isn't Meredith picking up the oncoming linebacker when he's doubling the guy in there and the gap between the right guard and Meredith himself? So, and then another thing is like with how little hitting they get done in the off season, like that's just another thing is like you gotta prepare so much mentally and physically for the NFL at the offensive line position. Like, it's not a good idea at all to move somebody who's never played center to that center position. Unless you have a starting center and you're moving somebody over to basically become the backup and learn that position and maybe build them up to take it over eventually, like, it's not a good idea at all.
Yeah. The one thing that I've all the years, and then like when I played and whatnot, is your guards and centers should be interchangeable. Though they should be at any given moment, you should be able to interchange them. I know center, like you said, center does require a little bit more because you got to snap you have to make the calls and snap the ball. So you got a little bit more on your plate. But for the most part, your centers and guards from an athletic, a physicality, and a cerebral standpoint they should be all interchangeable. That's why you see a lot of this, and even today, is where guys are getting drafted out of college as a guard. They were a guard in college, but they're coming in the NFL and becoming centers. And they even do that. They even do that at the Senior Bowl, where they'll take some of their best guards and just try them at center during practice through the week, just to kind of see if they can acclimate. And it's usually like 4 or 5. They give them 4 or 5 basic techniques and calls or plays to run off of, and see how they respond. And then if they can add to it, then they keep going with that person. So that's another thing. Parham actually could play a decent center.
Well, he played center in college.
Right. And then that 63-3 Chargers game that we had, he was the starting center.
Was he?
Yeah. Mumford was a left tackle.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? Hey, since we talked about Mumford, are you pretty much done with the offensive side of the ball? Other than
I'm done with Mumford.
You're done with Mumford? Well, it's going to kind of lead me into this topic that we're going to discuss is players, more recent players that have left and are still in the NFL and performing. And some of those, it really irritates me, some of those weren't doing the job for us, but now all of a sudden with their new team, they are performing. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, but I have the simple answer for all that.
Coaching.
And GMs. new GM comes in, he's going to let people walk and not sign them off those contracts that are expiring the year he comes in because he's trying to get those compensatory picks so he can create the roster in his image quicker. And a lot of times the players that are leaving, they don't know anything about them or weren't even high on their own draft boards when those players were coming out. So it's like they don't want to keep them because they don't know.
Yeah.
And with a new GM, they got all that work to do to try to put together a draft board for the upcoming draft. A lot of them end up hiring their own coaches too. So they got to put the research into their own coaches and the coaching staff that those coaches want to bring on. So it's kind of an easy way to get out of doing even more prep work to figure out your roster where they can get rewarded for losing those players. So
yeah.
We had 3 GMs in 3 years. I mean,
that's not good.
4 years. Like,
doesn't.
We got 2 years in a row and 3 years out of 4 where we let people just walk off our team because we wanted compensatory picks. Like,
but is it just they want the compensatory picks, or is it somewhat they don't suit the type of roster makeup, the type of team makeup that GM is looking for? Because I kind of have a feeling the reason why we let like Chase on go, right? That we let Chase on go because we felt that Kuntz was in house. We had him for 4 years, 4 years. Yeah, he was injured last year, but I think maybe Spytek thought, okay, he's already been here. He's worked with this nucleus of defensive line versus what Chason has done, and because Chason didn't play a full year for us, right? He came in. I think we picked him up.
Came in the middle of the season last year. Yeah,
yeah, and he was actually he actually was a healthy scratch a few times the first few weeks he was on the team. It wasn't until later on and he started things were clicking, and a lot of it had to do with he was training with Max Crosby at practice when they were doing individuals and group work. He was starting to feed off of how Max Crosby was doing things, and it's like, aha, this is what's going to make me better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I was saying about the GMs is the easy way out is not doing the research on the players we already have on the roster because they can get rewarded for letting them walk. So they can continue putting more research into rookie players that are coming out into the draft. So then there's the other side of the coin where it's some people thought it had to be Kuntz or Chase on, and evidently that's the road they went down. It was Kuntz or Chase on, and Kuntz had the higher ceiling based off of that half a season he had before his injury, because he was playing lights out for 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
6-8 weeks,
yeah. So it was a gamble, and both players were going to be cheap. So if they're both going to be cheap, you take the one with the higher ceiling,
right?
And unfortunately, Kuntz hasn't worked out. But I think we should still re-sign Kuntz because usually the first season back from the injury he had, players can be a little slow.
Yeah. But he's not going to get the contract he got this year.
No, he's probably going to get a worse contract.
Yeah, I think what we gave him this year was a little bit hefty for what we got in return, and give him more guaranteed monies. But make it a 2-year, $12 million, fully guaranteed for 2 years, and then maybe put some escalators in it into the contract to where year 2 he could either benefit or walk out at free agency and get a bigger bag if that's what he desires. I don't know if the Raiders are going to do that. Snowden, I think I agree with you. Snowden is probably one of those guys we do need to re-sign. But as far as the defensive line in and of itself, I think we're fine on the defensive line. It probably wouldn't hurt to add a piece.
We're really thin on edge because Tyree's probably gone. I don't see them keeping him because he's another one that is going to end up getting onto a team because he was a past first-round pick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was like a Cleveland Farrell situation where we reached for him. Like he was considered a top 10 pick at the time.
Yeah.
So we would definitely get a compensatory pick from him or for him walking. So that being said, it's like we really only have Max returning on the edge that's under contract. So they got to make something happen, whether it's bringing in a free agent or two. Like they're definitely going to have to at least draft one.
Yeah.
Then the other problem is, where do you take that edge? Because we have so many holes. Is like, is edge up there? Is O-line up there? I mean, obviously quarterback is a number one receiver there. Like you want to draft the number one receiver in the second round? And is
There's
there
so
a guy
many
like that going to be in the second round?
Yeah. And there's so many needs that we have. The first 3 rounds are going to be we have to hit on the first 3 rounds in this draft. Have to hit. And 2 of those 3 need to be immediate impact players just to start the engine to get us going forward. Yeah. That's not taking us over the top and making us championship bound or putting us in that playoff, that top 10 playoff category. That's just to get the ball rolling up that direction. Because, I mean, let's face it. And, oh, by the way, congratulations to Max Crosby and Brock Bowers Pro Bowl selections. Brock Bowers 2 years in a row. This is number 5 for Max Crosby. Well-deserved, both of you guys. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, we have to hit on those first 3 picks. But more importantly, I think we have to hit on free agency.
Yeah.
We have to hit on free agency. And it has to be. And I'm at this point now that what they pay and what the type of contract, what they pay, I don't give a shit no more. Okay? I don't care. We signed, let's say Lindenbaum. If he hits the free agency, I'm giving him $21 million a year.
No, I'm making him the highest paid center to come to my team.
21 million. I'll give him a 4-year, 96 with 81 guaranteed. Right.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is make the all pro one time to kick in the rest of that guaranteed money. That
easy money.
He's 25 years old. You know what I mean?
Just
he's the guy
into his prime.
Right. And if you watched him the other night, I'm sitting there going, I would put 00 on that guy. If we legally could do it with the NFL, I would give him 00.
He's legit. But the Ravens are absolutely dumb if they let him walk.
But here's some of the grumblings I'm hearing is Baltimore is not really sold on going forward with what they have. And they are actually they pushed their beans up against the salary cap. Pretty much. We will
yeah, then they can't afford them if they are. I would have to look at that, honestly.
Yeah. When we get into the offseason, we'll dig into that more after January. We'll dig into that a little bit more. Or you know what? Let's plan next week, because next week is gonna we'll do that next week. See if we can get more people to come into the chat, and then I'll advertise it more. We're gonna dive into upcoming free agency availabilities and what we're looking at. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
And do a little bit more.
Put some more research in and do one of my whole essay things.
Yeah.
I do in the Discord.
Yeah. And then obviously we got draft situations coming up, and I am 100% against purposely losing. I don't think we're purposely losing, but I can tell you this. Yeah, but I can tell you this, that if for some reason, and I don't think it's going to happen, I think the writing's already on the wall, but if for some reason Pete Carroll is retained, then that tells, and Geno Smith is retained this year, at that point, I would go, okay, we need to do an investigation on whether or not the Raiders intentionally tanked this season. because that's the only because there's 32 teams in the NFL and 33 of them would already fire the coach and kick that quarterback out of the room. You know, and as a Raider fan, I don't want Geno. I don't care if Geno Smith comes out and throws 10 touchdowns this week and 10 touchdowns the following week. I don't care what he did to our fans walking off the field. No Raider does that. That's our team. Those are our colors. That's our uniform. We rep that shield more than you do. And then you walk out of the stadium like that because you're getting booed and heckled. Well, you deserve to get booed and heckled because you're playing like a dunce.
Play better.
Exactly. Fix the problem. You know?
Quit staring down your receivers.
Yeah. You know how you don't run into the back of somebody on the freeway? Take your foot off the gas, press the brake. Pretty simple, right? You can fix the problem.
I mean, his sheer lack of ability of reading the field is god awful.
I think it's more he's so predetermined to where to go with the ball that at that point it doesn't matter. Because there's been times where he's actually read the field too, but just he was like, I got to get the ball to him. It's like, well, no. Somebody's open, throw him the damn ball.
Well,
you know what? I don't care what your coach. Look, Josh McDaniels ran into the locker room bitching and complaining after Josh Jacobs ripped off the 80-yard touchdown in overtime to win a game against Seattle. That right there tells you everything you need to know about. Sometimes people just don't deserve to be head coaches. And if your offensive coordinator is coming after you or your head coach is coming after you because you made a play, but he didn't like it because it's not the play that he called, then we need to address that. Needs to be addressed, and that's when the leaders of the team need to go to the coach and says, "Hey, he scored a touchdown. What's the problem?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what say you?
I mean, I don't want Geno Smith on my team, other than these last 2 weeks, because we need our tank commander.
He's doing a good job of that, ain't he?
I mean, he single-handedly lost that Texans game, pick 6.
Well, and the Chargers game too at the beginning of the year with the 3 picks, one of them being a pick
and the Bears
6.
game with
and the
3
Bears game
interceptions.
I think the team checked out on him in the Commanders game because he wasn't performing. He wasn't. You get to a point as a teammate, and it's like, dude, what the are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Okay, if you're gonna go through the motions, I'm gonna go through the motions. Why should I? You know what I mean? Why should I? You know. And it's all relevant. If you look at it from that standpoint, it's all relevant because you see Max Crosby on the sideline, and when he's looking, they got the camera on him, and he look up and he goes, "What the fuck?" You just know that hits them. That hits their soul.
Yeah.
Now this past week, I think a lot of that changed not because of Geno. I still think there was some disconnect with the rest of the team with Geno, but Genty picked up that slack.
Yeah, but it's also hard for him to really truly pick up that slack when he doesn't get the carries. Yeah. This last week was the first time he actually had a good amount of carries, and
healthy amount. Yeah,
just showed like, hey, why weren't you feeding him the ball all year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Chip Kelly mentioned the play count. You don't run your guys through a brick wall all season and expect them to be performing by the end of the year, but that's how Genty's built. Is he needs to get 22 plus carries every single game because he's a hit one here and there kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like Jahmyr Gibbs who can have 3 carries for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like that's not Genty.
And really, in all honesty, that stat line, when you put those components of the stat line together, that doesn't necessarily mean success either.
No.
You know what I mean? It's, believe it or not, his 22 carries for 70 yards were more effective than that 1 carry for 52 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's putting some lean on that defensive line. It's wearing them out.
And how many times did Geno get sacked? On paper, he got sacked 3 times, but technically he only got sacked twice.
Yeah.
So that 70 yards, him rushing for that 70 yards, that plays a big part in that. And with Hunter and Will Anderson, I mean, come on. It's like,
Yeah.
so it was effective. And, one time I was sitting in the stands and I had a fan sitting next to me and he goes, they need to run more play action. I go, okay. I like play action. Play action is very deadly. But how do you think play action works? Where does it start? You got to be able to run the ball. If you can't run the ball, they don't care what you do in the backfield with that ball. They're just automatically, as soon as the ball, they already know you're going to pass. So, I mean, it doesn't, play action, I mean, you can start out a game and be successful with play action because a lot of teams will gear up to stop your run. But when they start to realize you ain't even going to run the ball anyways, so what's it matter? That's what happened in the Super Bowl when we played the Buccaneers. John Gruden knew they ain't going to run the ball. Why? Yeah. So why even respect the play action? Why even respect? You know what I mean? It's like, we're just going to drop. We're going to come at you with 5 and drop 6 back in coverage, and good luck. We'll see if you can beat our press man with, with our clouds and, our Tampa 2s. So, anyway,
I think it just circles back to coaching too, because like we weren't getting any improvements all season, and then now all of a sudden, Ginty was running the ball, and then instead of stopping and just going away from the run game like they have all season, they continued giving the ball to Ginty. It's amazing what happens against the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then even if you want to get into the run game, the number 6 run defense, they're pretty dang good at run defense. Like, it's just shows we can actually run the ball and be aggressive with our O-line, but coach's lack of faith and lack of ability doesn't matter.
Yeah. And the run game takes a rhythm. You got to get into a rhythm. It's not, it's 1 yard, 2 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards. What kind of down and distance is it creating on 2nd and 3rd down? Is it giving us 3rd and short, 2nd and short? You rip off a 7-yard run on 1st down, that gives you 2nd and 3. Now your playbook goes from like this to like this, because now it's like, I'm going to dictate what we're going to run the next play. If I want to run a smash or a counter or, a lazy trap or a draw or something like that. And play action in 2nd and short is really, especially at midfield. I love it. You get to midfield and let's say you've gotten a couple passes off and all of a sudden your running back rips off 7 yards on 1st down and you got 2nd and 3. It's like, you better, tell your safeties back up. They're going to throw it deep because we're coming at you.
Yeah. No, it's just the lack of coaching all season has been depressing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because after week 1, everybody in our Discord, on All Aboard's Discord, was hooting and hollering how great it is to finally have coaches that can make adjustments during a game.
It's just pretty much the same coaches.
Yeah. But after week 1, there was none of that. I just go back to your point on Pete Carroll staying as a coach. Like, I don't see it happening unless there's.
I don't either.
Unless it was planned for them to lose like this.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. That if he's coming back, if they bring him back, this whole season was planned. They were planning on doing this, running a real. Being real frugal in free agency, not being aggressive, doing and basically their draft, how they drafted, all that, and then setting the roster with the type of roster that they had. And I knew what we carried over from last year to this year. I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat as me that we knew going into training camp this roster wasn't going to be that good. But I still thought with the type of coaches, the quality coaches that we got, we could at least get close to doubling our win total from last year, or put us in a position where we're competitive in every game. Like the Washington Commanders game. Okay, we lost by 7 or we lost by a field goal, but no, they wiped us up and down that field like it was nothing. The Colts, I mean, the Chiefs game, the both Chargers game. I mean, those guys, I literally, those guys were done in the fourth quarter. I mean, I thought the game against the last Chargers game that we had, I thought they were going to take a kneel down with 12 minutes left in the freaking fourth quarter. And it was still, and we were only 2 scores out. I mean, it's like anybody with any semblance of an offense that can execute and get down the field, you can cut a 2-score game down with 12 minutes left in the game. It happens every week. But they weren't even worried about it. They were just like, it's the Raiders. They're not going to, these guys, they're trying to figure out what the snap count is and who's going to go in motion, and Parham's blocking Kappa and not blocking the defensive guy, and they're both standing there hugging each other while the defense is in the backfield. And I mean, let's face it, this week was nice to see. I get it. Put a bow on it.
Doesn't mean anything unless they can repeat it.
No, unless you can take everything that you did last week and put it together. And granted, you're playing the Giants this week, so if you do that, you might as well say we're not getting Fernando Mendoza, because we will kill the Giants if we play like we did against the Texans against the Giants. We'll kill them.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to what you were first started to say about going into the season. Is like, definitely had a weaker roster on the defense. Like, we let way too many good pieces that we had walk. But brought in Chip Kelly, who, yes, terrible head coach in the NFL, but with the Eagles, he had a solid offense and he could run the ball. Like, Shady McCoy had one of his best seasons with Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
And then we brought in Genty because we sorely needed a running back because we did not have one last season. And the second half of last season, it looked like our offensive line was finally starting to come in to its own. But we still knew, at least as fans, we needed to upgrade both guard positions. Parham is a very solid backup. Because of his inconsistencies, he should not be the starter. And Meredith cannot run block. Like, if you truly want to control the down and distance, the time on the clock, you need to be able to run the ball at will. And you're not going to do that with Meredith. Yeah. And so going into preseason, we thought we were going to have this awesome offense. And we knew our defense was going to be severely lacking. But with Patrick Graham being able to have some pretty good games called last year with all the injuries we had, is like, as long as our offense can stay on the field and not go 3 and out, like, our defense should be okay. Being able to control that clock on offense and keep our defense off that field, like, they're going to be rested up. They're going to be able to go full force every time they're on that field and be able to hopefully get a turnover or a quick 3 and out and get the ball right back to our offense.
Yeah.
Well, after week 1, our offense couldn't move the ball, couldn't hold on to the ball. Our quarterback became a turnover machine, and our defense can't stop anybody. And even in this last game, like, our defense had some really good flashes, but the Texans were still able to move the ball on them. And yes, Geno Smith's pick 6 was ultimately the cause of our loss, because he gave him a free 7 points, but our defense struggled a little bit.
There was 49 other plays out there that could have overridden that. And the only way to trump that pick 6 is to get your own defensive score. So,
yeah. And that's one thing our defense doesn't do is we don't get turnovers.
Mm-mm.
When was the
No.
last time like we actually had a good turnover defense? 2016?
No.
Yeah, 2016 our defense got turnovers. They were a terrible defense, but they got turnovers and sacks like
You might want to
crazy.
go back and look at that because I think that was, even though we were winning, we were one of the worst teams in the turnover ratio going into the playoffs.
Were we?
There was a time right about then in the 2016 to 2018 where we went. I think one of those seasons we only had 4 interceptions total for the whole year.
Was that 2015? I think 2015 because that was the year Carr was a rookie, or 2014 was Carr was a rookie, and we had Dennis Allen as our head coach.
Yeah, there was 1 year that we absolutely had no turnovers whatsoever. I mean, it literally. I think we had like 6 turnover. We got 6 turnovers a whole year. It was bad. There was like no, and we were one of those 20.
I'm pretty
In
sure 2016 we had turnovers because
2016.
that's how we
Well,
got to the playoffs.
let's go to Google and find out. Let's see. Key defensive. We were
Got 30 turnovers in 2016.
Yep. We had 16 led by Reggie Nelson's 5. 10 fumbles recovered. Okay. Yep.
And Khalil Mack had 11 sacks.
Yeah. I think we only had 25 total as a team. That's right. You know what? Thank you, Duncan.
Our defense was pretty bad in 2016, but they got turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we were able to succeed.
Yeah. Well, we were 20th. We were 20th in the NFL in points allowed. We weren't. We were averaging. We were surrendering about 379 yards a game. 25 sacks, 16 interceptions. We had 29 total turnovers. The key players on our defense that year were Khalil Mack, Reggie Nelson, Bruce Irvin had 7 sacks. Malcolm Smith, David Emerson, and Sean Smith. So, in all, I know 2016, the way our offense was producing, the way they were producing on the offensive side of the ball, that if our defense could just be somewhat equal to them, that would have been a Super Bowl run.
Well,
for sure.
What was the formula that ended up happening is our defense would be giving up points. Our offense was forced to score, and they were, but we were always trailing late. And then they would get a timely turnover at the end of the game, and then Carr would go get a game-winning drive. And then that's how he started stacking up those fourth quarter wins.
Yeah.
That's how he became the clutch king.
Yeah, that year he was.
What was it, like 6 to 8 years? He had the most fourth quarter and overtime wins.
Yeah, and Del Rio was gambling a lot with some of his fourth and shorts and fourth and longs and going for 2-point conversions and stuff like that to kind of. And we were on the positive side on those plays, which was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun, especially that Saints game. How he just, you know what, we came to win. We're not here to try and go to overtime and do all that stupid shit. We're gonna win. So, which is cool. And when you have Crabtree on the outside on offense, that made a difference too because he had such a huge catch radius. But anyways, that was 2016. Hey, thanks for reminding me. But there is a time in those sequence of teams that we were really, really bad in the turnover margin. It was, and it was really bad. And this year hasn't been good either. It just
that's why I brought it up. Is since 2016 we've been absolutely terrible in the turnover margin.
Yeah,
like the 1 year we had a quarterback and a defense that got turnovers, we were winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
they did
like,
give up a lot of yards though that year. They did.
yeah,
They
it's
get
not
up,
like they
and
were
we
a
get
great defense,
no,
but they got
no.
the turnovers
Yeah,
and
they
it
got the
got the ball back
turnovers.
to our offense.
Yep, which is what and the defense this year absolutely hasn't even come close to that. I mean, it seems like every time we lost or every time we won the coin toss and we gave the other and we deferred and the other team went on offense, it was like we didn't get after the coin we didn't even get the ball back until there was like 6 minutes left in the damn quarter.
Yeah.
And so whose responsibility is that? It starts with the top, Patrick Graham, and makes its way down, right? So there's got to be you got to get your defense has got to get you off the field. Now this week against the Texans, they did that. You notice in the first quarter, I think they had we had 3 possessions and they had 2 in the first quarter. So that in and of itself that kind of makes a difference. It's just unfortunate we spotted them 7 points.
Well, ultimately, both sides of the ball, we suck. Like, some people want to argue our defense is okay. They're not.
It's not. There's
They have
components.
moments.
There's
There's
components
pieces
there.
there to build on.
Yep.
We got a young core of D tackles. We got Max Crosby. We got Porter, who's shown flashes. Jeremy Chin, he needs to be a Raider the rest of his career if he keeps playing like he has been.
Mm-hmm.
Polamalu, honestly, he should be our third safety. He has flashes where he looks great, and then other times looks like maybe he should move up to outside linebacker or something, because he lets those deep passes go too easy a lot of times.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll wait. Go ahead.
And then I don't know. We have some pieces, but other than Max, we don't got a superstar. And there's 2 ways I can see us really making our defense great. And that's either shoring up the middle by getting a stellar shutout safety and a very, very good sideline-to-sideline linebacker, or partner up somebody with Max Crosby. Bring in a high talented early round edge rusher to put him opposite. And it's like, it kind of seems to be like the key to success in a lot of teams recently. Like the Rams, they have 2 great edge rushers. Texans, 2 great edge rushers. I'm sure there's other teams, but those are like the first 2 that come
Giants.
to mind. Giants' whole defensive line's really good, but they're not performing to their potential at all. I think Burns is the only one that's actually really producing.
Yeah. Abdul Carter has flashed, but he's got some maturity issues.
Yeah.
I mean, you get benched. You get benched twice in 1 year for not showing up for team meetings or being late or whatever. I don't know if there's any underlying issues with him that they've missed, but I thought he was a legit kid coming out of Penn State, man. I mean,
yeah, I did too. But here's the thing: is me personally, I'm giving up on him already because, he wants to go and get LT's number off the retirement. Like the Giants put LT's number. They retired
his number. Yeah.
He wants to go to LT and ask for his number. And then he wants to go and fuck off like that. Like, no.
Hold on. LT was the king of fucking off the field.
Yeah, but not on the field.
But that's just it.
He's not performing like LT.
No, he's not. Hey, I agree with you on that.
Like, you want to go ask for that number, you better be putting it on the field.
Yep.
He's not putting it on the field and still acting like that? No.
And it's not hard. It's not hard. Show up to practice on time. Play your ass off on Sundays.
Yeah. I mean, what was John Madden's rules? He only had 3, right?
Yeah. Show up on time. Play your ass off on Sundays.
He had 2.
Well, those are the 2. It might be a third. I don't know.
But
I'll have to go back.
anyways, like that's all it is show up and play football.
Yep.
But you don't get the number you want, and then you go off the field, and then you don't perform during the games. Like, sorry, bud, go sit on that bench.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got time for your pettiness.
Yeah.
You're here making millions of dollars to play a game.
Mm-hmm. But, some people can shake out of that maturity issue. Tyree Matthew, a.k.a. Honey Badger, is a perfect example of that. He was so immature coming out of LSU when he got to the NFL, and he couldn't pass a piss test to save his life, smoking weed all the time. And it's like, all of a sudden, it clicked. What's more important to you? And then he realized, and he had
But that whole time he was still performing on the field. He was still playing pretty well early in his career. That Cardinals defense was legit.
Yeah, they were, but there was other components on that defense that made them really good too. So
there's plenty of components on that Giants defense that
Chandler Jones was one of them. I just was thinking about that when you said that defense. Chandler Jones. Oh my God. When Chandler Jones was on that team with those guys and Peterson and Calais Campbell and that, that was a good defense, man. That was a really good defense.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm not a Cardinals fan. We're not going to hype them up too much. So anyways, having discussed that, I would love to dive into potential draft prospects and kick those cans around, but I really think that's going to be a whole show in of itself. Duncan, what do you think?
Yeah,
because I
think we should hold off until after the Chiefs game,
after the playoffs,
because we'll know when. Playoffs don't really matter.
College football playoffs.
Oh, okay, my bad.
College football playoffs, because you're going to start to see. You're going to start to see some, where the rubber meets the road kind of people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I can agree with that, but there's 3 guys in my mind that I'm sold on, and they happen to be in 2 different scenarios, and they both rely on us getting that number 1 overall pick. So
yeah,
like I think we should definitely wait talking more about the draft and like what routes we should go and different scenarios we can get and drafting
after the Chiefs game.
After the Chiefs game, where it's solidified where we're picking.
Yeah, the worst we could fall to is 7.
Yeah, 7's the worst we can be at. We could still lose to the Giants and beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
And the Chiefs lose this week and to us, and our strength of schedule, I think, gets bad enough to where we can get back up to the 2nd overall pick.
If we beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, so if we lose to the Giants, right? So then that puts us at the number 1 overall pick. And then the Chiefs lose this week. That lowers our strength of schedule because that's a team that we've played. So that makes it so our strength of schedule gets weaker. And then we play the Chiefs and we beat the Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs
record comes down,
which makes our strength of schedule weaker again.
But it also helps the Giants too.
It helps raise the Giants' strength of schedule, but
wouldn't it lower
it also? No.
If we beat the
Giants
Chiefs?
didn't play the Chiefs, did they?
Yeah.
They did?
We played the NFC East this year. Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, Eagles.
Yep. No, you're right. So that game would be neutralizing for the strength of schedule compared to the Giants. But what I'm getting at is if we beat the Chiefs record-wise and we keep our current strength of schedule, we get put behind the Browns. And we also get put behind the Titans because of win-losses, because the Titans only have 2. And
the Titans have 3.
Oh, do they have the 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they just won, didn't they?
They just
Duh.
beat the Chiefs, kicked their
Yeah.
ass too.
Well, if I pull up,
Us and the Giants are the only
Tankathon-
ones at 2 wins right now. We're the only teams with
Yeah.
just 2 wins.
Oh, the Jets is the other team. Okay, so right now, strength of schedule off of the top 5 teams. The Titans are the only one with a stronger strength of schedule, right? So technically, if we win one game, so if we beat the Chiefs and we lose to the Giants, we're still tied with the Giants, but then we're also tied with the Browns and the Jets and the Titans. But the Titans have a better strength of schedule than ours, so we'd be put at pick number 4 right before the Titans. But what I'm getting to is if the Chiefs lose out, that helps lower our strength of schedule, also the Giants, and that makes it so we can end up staying basically where we're at in the draft order right now, where the Giants are number 1, we're number 2, and then the Browns go to 1. Never mind. I'm sorry, I'm all messed up.
That's all right.
The strength of schedule, like, it gets confusing until you have all the numbers because it's all what ifs and ands or buts. But trying to figure out the theoreticals if we could get back up to that number 2 spot if we ended up beating the Chiefs, because I have a feeling that we're going to win at least one of these games, and it's just going to screw up our draft order. But if we win,
this is what I'm hoping for.
We get put at pick 4.
Yeah,
if we win out, we get put at pick 7.
It's funny though, we control our own destiny for the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but that our team's not going to. Lack of better words, our team's not going to just lay down. They've been doing it all season, but like you know what I mean. Like they're still trying to win.
Yeah,
it just doesn't always look that way.
Yeah. Well, here's the Siamese question here. Yeah, we played really good against the Texans and lost. But it was less than 14 days ago. We looked like a bunch of idiots out there in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what are we going to get? You know, I mean, in all honesty, I would love to see a competitive game against the Giants. Both sides of the coin toss and just lose. Just lose. Just don't even, because it's been said that this game and the next game are franchise changing moments, you know, and being, you know, it's limited pickings at the top of the draft as far as getting a franchise quarterback. That's something we have never done, you know. I mean, yeah, we drafted Kenny Stabler, but he was on the taxi squad for 3 years behind LaMonica. So, you know, we gotta get a franchise quarterback, man. That is the only way we're gonna be able to turn this shit around to where you and Fletcher in 10 years can go, I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah.
And we can maybe hold up a ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's going to have to, you know, and God bless it. I know Miss Peggy Holmes was on Jeff's show, and her take was, you know, we have to build the trenches first, and we can't get a quarterback because we don't have the trenches built. Unfortunately, and I think you agree with me, so we can get a quarterback at the number 1 pick and still build the trenches.
Yeah.
Because I think, to be quite honest with you, I think the trenches are just as easy to build 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round as they are in the 1st round. What you can't do is get that franchise. Once you get it, this was told to me a long time ago. Once you get to pick 40 of the draft, anything past any quarterback selected after pick 40 is usually only drafted to be a backup quarterback. They're not drafted to be your franchise-saving quarterback. Now, have there been franchise-saving quarterbacks that were drafted in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounds? There has been. But you tell me that Tom Brady was drafted to be the franchise quarterback, and I'll slap you in the face, because that's not what they drafted him for. They were just hoping that they were just hoping he can help Drew Bledsoe. If Drew Bledsoe went down, that he can help. Then he wins. I'll be quite honest with you. Had the tuck rule not happened and we won that game, Tom Brady would have never done what he did, and the Patriots wouldn't have all those championships. And I know the skipper's in here watching, and he'll say the same thing to you too. That there's no because Fuddle Nuts, he was gonna run it back with Drew Bledsoe the next year as soon as Drew Bledsoe was healthy enough to play.
Well, we would have made back-to-back Super Bowls. We wouldn't have played John Gruden's Tampa Bay because John Gruden still would have been our head coach. Like that early 2000s history would be completely rewritten if that tuck rule didn't happen. That tuck rule, you could say, was the signaling moment of the absolute dumpster fire our franchise was going to become.
Yeah. And that was I remember on Bart coming back from a game in 2003 because we tried to run it back in 2003. A bunch of those guys took pay cuts to come back. And then Gannon went down with the neck injury. When he went down, he got hurt. And it was a Monday night game against Tampa, Sunday night game against Tampa Bay. Hold on. I have the ticket right here. Hold on. Yep. Sunday, September 26, 2004 at 5:30 p.m. When we got up, me and my friend Barry were getting on Bart to go home after that game. Gannon got hurt in that game. And I told him, I said, we ain't gonna. This team is not going to be the same for the next 5 years. He goes, come on, JD, don't say that. I go, no. I go, you don't know, you don't realize we financed the 2000, 2001, 2002 team. We borrowed. We have bank loans to pay those guys. You understand that, right? I go, because when it comes to signing bonuses, that's your money. You got to pay. Back then, that's your money. You got to use your money for the signing bonuses. And the only way we got Trace Armstrong and Sam Adams and Ted Washington and Rod Woodson and who else did we get? There was a few free agents that we picked up in the offseason in those years that especially Trace Armstrong, who by the way is a agent now. Trace Armstrong was the one that we were like, holy crap. And he only played like 10, 12 plays a game. You know, he was dominant. He was good, but he was so long in the tooth, you know? And I was like, I'm like, Barry, we are going to suck for the next 5 years minimum. And it was actually worse than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely need our quarterback. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you're right. We can build the trenches through the second, third, fourth rounds. There's also free agency. If we have to, we can take some older guys that are at the end of their career, pay them for a year or two while we still try to find more youth at our O-line positions.
Just to bridge it up.
Yeah. I mean, we got to do everything possible to keep our quarterback clean, whether it be our rookie quarterback if we draft one or a bridge quarterback, whoever it may be. I mean, perfect world, we sit the rookie quarterback for 1 year. Unfortunately, whether we start him or not, I don't see us having that great of a year next year. Like, I don't see us getting more than 6 wins. Like, we need to see some drastic changes just to get that 6 wins. Like, it could end up being where we end up being a lot more competitive next year after the dominoes fall, but might get a lucky game here and there where maybe it pushes us to 8. But like, that's what we were thinking in this offseason. Is like, maybe we could get 10 wins, like with a lucky win here and there sprinkled in. But like,
I was at 6. I figured just the quality of coaches in name only, obviously.
Yeah.
At this point, we can just say a name only. I thought with the quality coaches that we brought in could get us 3 more wins than what we got last year.
I agree
And
with
so
that.
I had 6 to 8 wins. I went 6 to 8 wins is what I did. And even on my Brock Bowers prediction, I'm almost hitting the nail on the head with that, except I'm a little short on the yardage. I basically said he's going to have right about 80 receptions, but he's going to have more touchdowns this year than he had last year.
Yeah.
And
No,
so far, I'm kind of in that ballpark.
I was predicting he was going to have less yards, but a lot more touchdowns. He was going to be utilized more in the red zone.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like I was reaffirming it after we hired Chip Kelly because I'm like, okay, we're going to be able to move the ball with Chip Kelly. And with a weapon like Bowers, like he just gets open.
Mm-hmm.
Like
even when he ain't open, he's open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like look at Sunday's game against the Texans. There was plenty of plays where he was wide open and he didn't even get looked at. Like, why are we not? He needs to be read number one almost every pass play. And if he's not read number one, he needs to be read number two. Like, he should not be falling past two. He needs to be the focal point of our offense until somebody else can step up and prove, like, oh, hey, I'm just as good as him. Like, Brock Bowers is a tremendous talent, and he is going to be able to carry this offense. And with a guy like that, he's also going to help your run game if it is struggling, which it has been. Like, they're going to have to focus on Bowers a lot more, and then other receivers are going to get open. Trey Tucker's had some really good games where he hasn't been targeted. Like, he runs open a lot of times too. But I don't know. I think you and I can agree, our biggest issue is coaching. With great coaches, you're going to have a competitive team almost no matter what.
And talent deficiency as well.
Talent deficiency is definitely number 2 or tied for number 1. Like, it's up there. But
and number 3, we don't have enough 401 Raider Jeff, and we don't have enough of the chat in our show, because I think that would really set us over the top. Because we started last week, right? Last week was our first show. There you go. I think our show made a difference last week. Maybe me and you could push him over the top. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that's wishful thinking. I mean, I know if I was a player, I would not be paying attention to what other people are saying outside the building.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately what matters is, 1, do I think I'm playing well? Yeah. 2, do my coaches think I'm playing well? And 3, are my teammates playing well and thinking I'm playing well? Like, everything in that building is what matters.
And that's definitely the truth. But I also want everybody in that building to realize that us standing out here by the chain link fence, it's just as, if not more important to us than it is to them. And you, I don't know about you, but I don't care who you are, where you came from. When you put the uniform on, we love you. We're going to embrace you. We're going to cheer for you. But if you do us dirty and play like a fool and act like a fool, then we're not going to support you.
Yeah. Well, let's change it up a little bit, okay? I mean, we've been pretty doom and gloom in this episode because, frankly, that's what our team gives us, and it kind of eats into us, and we get like that. Let's go positive, okay? Organization-wise, to create a winning team, we got to start from the top, work our way down. And from the get-go, that front office is goal number 1. We got to get that in line so that way they can start bringing in great talent in the drafts, free agency, bring in good coaches. And I think on paper, we have a great front office now because Spytek brought in a bunch of great guys from other organizations. He's brought in the Broncos' right-hand man,
Brian Hunt, the pro player guy from the Eagles.
Yeah. And then he's brought in a couple of guys from Tampa Bay also. And there's some optimism there. I mean, they've assembled what appears to be an all-star cast of talent acquisition guys. And last year, they weren't with the Raiders until the offseason came. So they didn't have as much time to dial in their draft boards, their free agencies, and everything. So now they got a full season coming into this offseason to really get their draft boards dialed in with more people, scouts, everything, more voices that have some experience in picking up great players. So I have some optimism on that front office, and we're going to have to give them 2-3 seasons to see if their players start clicking and like what kind of brand we're going to put on that field. And hopefully Spytek has some say in our next coaching hire if we end up moving on from Pete Carroll, because maybe he's able to pick up a coach that kind of is going to match the vision he has for the team that he wants to build.
Right.
Like, personally, I think we need to get an offensive mind that knows how to run the power run game, because that's what our O-line and our running back are built for. Every time these guys on our current roster have gone to a zone run scheme, they have shit the bed, and it does not work out.
Yeah.
Like, they need to go after people.
I think the power run scheme gets you downhill faster.
Yeah. Well, and
It
then
really
we have
does.
a perfect running back for it.
Yeah.
If he's going downhill and people are coming and trying to hit him at the hole, like, he just rolls off of them.
Yeah.
Like, the zone run scheme, like, it's, to me, I may be completely off on it, but like, in my mind, a zone run scheme is very similar to a passing game blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of offensive minds love that, because it's like, okay, you're making the defensive backs and the D line think a little bit more on whether it's a pass or a run play. So it kind of makes them hesitate for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up more lanes for your passing game and also run game at the same time, because you have that hesitation, because you're making everything look similar. It's a disguise. But we don't have the players for that type of stuff. And every time we try to this zone run scheme, it completely falls apart, and our O-line looks absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know what John Spytek's vision is for the team, but right now with the players we have, we need a power run game. And defensively, we got so many holes, and then we also need to know who our defensive coordinator or head coach, if we get a defensive head coach, like what they want to run, and then you need to get players that fit his scheme.
Yeah. So, and long story short, in one simple paragraph, we can say we need to know who's coming and we need to know who's going.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And it's a simple formula, and we're at that crossroads now. I truly think that we've been like this for the last 2 years, but right now it's just a matter of relax. If you got to get rid of Pete Carroll, get rid of Pete Carroll. And I ain't mad if you do. I might be a little pissed off if you keep him, but if you do keep him with a contingency, you're going to fix the offensive line. And that includes getting rid of your son. You tell your son to go home, play in the sandbox.
Yeah, Raider Jeff, fire everyone. I agree.
Well, Raider Jeff would fire us too. So,
well,
you're all fired.
His loss, but no, we need to start fresh from the coaching staff.
Yep.
Keep the current GM and his front office together. If they want to add people in the front office, go for it. The more scouts you have, the better off. But yeah, we need to have Spytek and his crew fill out their whole contract. I mean, we can't keep turning over GMs that just want to keep letting expiring contracts walk just because they want compensatory picks.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to a point where we have all 1 and 2 year players and then all guys at the very end of their careers. Like, we have no meat on the bones in the middle.
Yeah.
From my sister Erica, apparently my dad is saying no nothing about the Raiders is on the same page. Front office, management, defense, owner, offense, or special teams. I mean, yeah,
Nope.
everybody seems to be doing their own thing, and you have to have some mesh between everything. You have to have a unified vision. You need to be able to build off of the vision on what you want the team to be.
Yeah.
Uh,
But we're not in a position to do a total clean house because all we're going to do is rinse and repeat with that. I truly think, and I think we agree on this as well, is it keep the front office, because Spytech was building the front office as he was going along in the offseason as well. So there's a couple of those guys we didn't get until June in our front office, you know. So it's gotta come down to let them. And I agree with you 100%. I truly think the GM should have at least 60% say in the head coach. So I'm looking at it this way: it's like he goes and he picks his candidates, he interviews his candidates, then he lets the management team interview the candidates, right? Because the management and ownership group should still have a say in it because they're hiring somebody to represent them, their business. So they ultimately, have a say on who they're hiring, right? But they should refer back to the GM and go, we like this candidate here, and you like that candidate there. Tell us, so those are the two candidates we have. Is there anything similar in nature between the two pick that we're going to be on the same? We're going to progress. You see what I'm saying? So they got to work. They all have to work together. They all have to work together, from the management, from the GM to the management group to the ownership. They all kind of have to work together to figure this out.
Yeah.
And that's how other franchises, they get it figured out. Some have it figured out. Some owners, they just go, I just hire the GM. I hire football president of football operations. They figure it out. That's their job. And if I go 3 years without seeing any progress or winning football, somebody's getting fired.
That's Mark Davis. He hires somebody and he lets them do their thing, and if they don't progress, he fires them.
But
progress
and I don't
and regress, he fires them too.
Well, that's just it. I don't blame him. In fact, I agree with him when he says, and he said this. This was with Dennis Allen, because Dennis Allen went longer than a lot of people thought he should have went as the head coach. And Mark Davis was like, I want to see if I see progress, I'm not going to fire somebody if we see progress. With him, there was progression and then regression. And it didn't. And it was like, at that point, it's like, okay, we got to move on. Jack Del Rio came in, had a 7-9 season, but that showed a lot of confidence. But you could tell something was starting to click with that team. And then we come back his second year, 12-4. Then we're like, we're back, Jack. We're relevant in this. You know what? We're relevant in this conversation in the NFL.
And then he fires his offensive coordinator or lets him walk.
No, he fired him, and I know why. I know why he fired him, but I think he should have taken a few days to think about it before he did that, because he fired him because Musgrave tried to throw the ball 60 times in a playoff game when he didn't have to do that.
Well, with a third quarterback who was a rookie.
Right.
I mean, you had, 2 pick sixes on back-to-back plays to Jadeveon Clowney because you ran the exact same play.
Yeah.
And then they ran that play again a third time in succession, and that was almost another one.
But they only had 5 plays they could run with Connor Cook.
Run the ball.
Ain't hard, is it?
Yeah.
I would have went to the head coach and say, hey, I'm not putting that kid isn't throwing the ball more than 15 times in this game.
Yeah.
And still we only lost by 10 points maybe. There was a point in the game where we still could have, even though we were getting our ass kicked up and down, there was a point in time where I thought, we could still win this game,
Yeah.
But hey, that's in the past, right?
Yeah.
That's
No,
in the past.
ultimately, right now, our franchise needs to come together.
Yep.
And supposedly Tom Brady's going to be more involved, which he's the owner. He can do what he wants, but
Mhm.
he's got so much other things that he has to pay attention to that I don't think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Uh,
If he
but
if
I don't
he's
know.
doing it, if he's buying into the ownership as an investment, I'm great with that. But if he's doing it because he's Tom effing Brady, right, and I'm the GOAT, and I can do anything I want in football, and it doesn't necessarily translate that you're going to be an executive, owner executive that's going to be successful. It doesn't. Just because you got 7 Super Bowl rings as a star quarterback and you're going to be in the Hall of Fame as a quarterback doesn't necessarily mean you're going to throw a little cash on the table, walk in here, and start running a franchise while you're still playing a color analyst on Sunday nights, on Sundays with a broadcast team. And then you got your soccer team and your volleyball team and whatever other ventures that you have in your investment portfolio, you know, because I'll be quite honest with you, your dad, and everybody else, we're not invested in this to make money, are we?
No, we're here to have
No.
fun and support our team.
And we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a part-time fan. So prove to me you're gonna do what's right by our franchise. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're a patriot. You fumbled the damn ball. You're a patriot, and so on and so forth. We still don't like you. And when 401 Raider Jeff has his next birthday party, I might even invite you to his birthday party just to show you how much he loves you.
Well, this one, my dad's 101 is 3 yards in a cloud of dust and KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm always going to agree with that philosophy because if you can just keep trotting down that field, slowly getting those first downs, you're going to eat that clock up and you're not going to let your defense see that field. And as long as you can keep getting points at the end of those drives, you're going to win.
And you're going to get that
keep your defense fresh and have your offense just absolutely kick the crap out of that defense.
Yep. So, anyways, I've kind of ran out of topics a little bit, and we're going to probably start regurgitating a lot of stuff that's been going on for the last 16 weeks and going next 6 months and all that stuff. And I don't know about you, but like with me, I like to find a little bit of more nuggets out there that maybe somebody else ain't expanded on. We'll get to that point. Salute to the 3 people that have been in here watching us today. We appreciate it. Every Tuesday night, or we're going to try every Tuesday night. But hit those subscriptions, the like buttons, subscribe to our channel. It's right down here in the ticker. You can also go into the description on YouTube, click on the link. It'll take you right to our YouTube page, and you can like and subscribe and hit those notifications. I think what's happening is our notifications aren't going through like they're supposed to. So we're going to do some deep diving in it as the week goes through, Duncan, and figure out how we can do it. If need be, I'm not opposed to moving it to a different day in the week besides Tuesday. Because Tuesday, the reason why I picked Tuesday for us to do our show is because it's mostly a dead day as far as the NFL goes, because there's no practice, no team activities, nothing. So you can kind of like maybe sneak in there and grab a show. But I'm not opposed to. I would like to keep it away from Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. Keep it away from there. But if we have to go to a Thursday platform instead, we'll entertain that. But not now. We're Tuesdays.
We can talk about it away from the show, and as far as right now, our next show is going to be next Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just saying it so if somebody sees this show, they could throw it in the comment section if they prefer. Hey, Thursdays would probably be better, or Tuesdays. Or we'll start to see that, kind of collect some data on unofficially collect data to see, maybe just the time and day that we're doing the show might be a little different.
Yep.
But you're right. That's company. We'll have a company meeting on that. But I so heartily, I want to thank you so much for coming in. Anybody that's in the chat, hey, like I said, share the show so we can grow. You got anything left, Duncan?
No. I mean, we pretty much hit all the points we can talk about now. We can't really get too much into the draft without knowing where we're picking at. Got to see how the game unfolds this next Sunday, and then also against the Chiefs, and we'll see more of where our team's going to be at for draft wise. Start seeing how teams might be talking about moving on from players for free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Black Friday to look forward to also, to see if Pete Carroll stole our coach. And so those are some big events that are going to provide some more content for us. And then in the off season, we're going to start bringing in guests to talk about their fandom and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, things definitely looking up for our show for the future and making it interesting.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. I don't think you can find a better show on the internet right now. It's just nobody knows.
Yeah.
I mean,
we got to spread that word.
Yeah.
No, we'll just keep grinding at
it.
Keep having
if you
fun.
go spread rumors, you can spread the word that we're out there. We're rocking and rolling. So, but no, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Those of you that are in the chat, thank you so much for coming in. Also, we have Monday Night Madness hosted by 401_Raider_Jeff. Our Monday Night Madness that we did last night. Something we kind of slapped together in the last couple of weeks, and it's been pretty good. It's good. It's good to get a little content going during a Monday Night Football game and rocking and rolling. Also, we have one more open mic night on Friday night, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe we have one more this Friday on the 401 Raider Jeff Productions logo. So there's some format changes that are coming. We're going to kind of mix it up a little bit, and me and Duncan specifically want to get more into the fandom. We had talked about starting this after the first year, but we figured why not? Let's finish the last end of the year strong and see what we can come up with. Right, brother?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be more interesting talks about the future once we know where we're picking, what our coaching situation is, and everything. So, more stuff to look forward to. And keep having fun.
Yep. Alrighty, folks.
Have a good night.